There's great power in taste. It is the one language that we all understand. It can take us back in time or give us something to look forward to. Taste opens hearts and touches souls. Taste takes time, love, and all our expertise to turn it from bean to bar. Taste cannot be tamed, but with time, with care, and working hand in hand, taste can be mastered. Masters of Taste. Calabout.
Sponsorumuz Calabout'a çok çok teşekkür ediyoruz. Nasılsınız? Nasıl gidiyor? Bir enerjisini alayım sahnenin, salonun. Nasıl? Harikasınız. Efendim sırada bir panelimiz var. Panelimizin moderatörü, ödüllü yemek gazetecisi ve gastronomi danışmanı Sayın Matthias Kron. Kendisine eşlik edecek çok kıymetli panelist şeflerimiz. Dünyada sadece tatlı üzerine fine dining yapan ilk şef olarak tanınıyor. Şef René Frank. Fransız pastacılık geleneğini zarafetle buluşturan usta bir isim. Şef Thibault Hauchard. Ve 3 Michelin yıldızlı Hélène de Rosetti Cano'da yaratıcılığıyla harikalar yaratan şef Nicolas Rouzaud geliyor. Alkışlarınızla sahneye davet ediyorum lütfen. Floor is yours, my chefs. But first, videos, huh? Please go ahead, please, take. Enjoy.
I'm René Frank, chef owner of Coda. As a chef and pastry chef, I've always known that this city is exactly the right place for my unique culinary vision. What started in 2016 as a dessert bar is today non-conformist restaurants. I invite my guests to look beyond norms and classic restaurant categorization. Over the years, I have developed my own non-conformist approach, my own cuisine inspired by desserts and pastry, where sugar does not play the main role. Non-binary dishes which have no labels and no categories.
Right. Thank you. Welcome everyone to this little session we're going to have today about the development of patisserie in the last 10 years. Now, what is patisserie really? It's, according to French formation, it's at least a lot of different professions in one profession. It's chocolaterie, it's viennoiserie, which is layered dough, and meringuerie, which is anything that has to do with meringues, and boulangerie, which is bakery. And these guys are, of course, masters of all these professions, and you have to be, because you cannot stick to only one profession. I will let Nicolas start by presenting yourself. where you work, where you come from? Sorry, Thibault. Thibault.
Yeah. So I'm the executive pastry chef at the Claridge's in London since 4 years now. Obviously, I'm French. You can hear my accent. But, so yeah, I've done 9 years in Paris on a few different hotels and gastronomic restaurants. And then 8 years ago, I arrived in London for Anna Ducasse at the Dorchester. And yeah, here I am at the Claridge's today.
Thank you.
Nicolas.
Nicolas.
So I'm Nicolas Rouzaud. I'm a consultant in pastry with the Connaught Hotel in London. I used to be the executive pastry chef, and now I have my own company. We have one location in London, and we opened recently in Doha in Four Seasons on the Pearl. And my background is, I started in France, as again, you hear the accent. I travel a lot in France, a little bit in Belgium, in Brussels, and yeah, now I'm here.
Right, interesting, thank you. And René, of course.
I'm René Frank, and I'm a chef and turned somehow into a pastry chef, but within the restaurant field. So I don't have a background in a pastry boutique. And I started almost 10 years ago, so next year we have our 10th anniversary. My restaurant, what you saw in the video, we started it as a dessert bar, and today it's a casual fine dining 2 Michelin star restaurant where all the food is inspired by dessert and pastry.
Yes. Now, we tend to make a difference. There is quite a big difference between the patisserie that is being sold in shops, let's say, or over the counter, and patisserie which is in the cooking of the desserts in a restaurant. How can these two fields learn from each other, or what have they been learning from each other, these two kind of opposite ways of looking at things? Would you?
So yeah, I mean, this is definitely two different, it's almost two different jobs, like the plated dessert and the patisserie. This is something to learn. So the cakes for the pastry shop is more something you have to do all the mise en place and stuff like that in advance. Then you make the cake and it's on the vitrine all day long. When the plated dessert is more something to finish at a minute with ice cream. You can play with temperature, with texture, and stuff like that. But it's two different identity, two different worlds, yeah.
Yes, they are two different identities, but how can they help each other? How can they be inspired by each other to develop?
I mean, yeah, it will be all about the ingredient, I guess. You will need I mean, from the beginning, everything is coming from the ingredients. So,
René, what do you think?
I think especially, so first we need to see the difference that in a restaurant you have a dessert or something sweet on a point where you actually full, which is the end of a menu. So it doesn't need to be something what fills you. If you have something sweet from a pastry shop, it's mostly something you want also that is a little bit filling, that it nourishes you with a coffee. And I think the world of pastry from a boutique definitely can be inspired from the restaurants, because if you think about the whole movement about sustainability, terroir, and product-driven, how we work in the kitchen is something we can adapt to a pastry shop, to the boutique. But we also need to respect that it's a completely different concept, because in a restaurant you choose from a menu. You don't have a picture, but in a boutique, it mostly lives from a vitrine, from a show place where you choose something from the visual. So it's both different fields, and both fields have a different development. And definitely in a restaurant we don't work that productive like you work in a pastry shop. Because in a pastry shop you don't start for like 2 or 3 pieces. You always make like a big production, which is like very efficient. And mostly in restaurants we don't work that efficient. Yeah. So this is something definitely restaurant pastry chefs or chefs can learn from a boutique to work efficient.
Nicolas, you run a series of shops.
Yep.
And in Doha, right?
In Doha, yeah.
What is the difference in taste between, let's say, that district and London, for example?
So yeah, it's two really different locations but the same kind of pastry. The thing is, when I arrive in Doha, you need to understand the market. You need to speak to people, to go even in a farmer to see what they are producing, and listening the guests what they like. So after you are sourcing, working on different desserts. So I have some signature pastry that is the same in London and Doha. But some other pastry will be only in Doha or only in London. For example, for Doha, I create like a rose des sables, a dessert rose made with pistachio, kataifi, something very present taste in Qatar. Yeah. So yeah, to adjust it and listening and looking around. Yeah.
Right. We've been in Turkey now for a couple of days. Maybe you've been here many, many times before. What have you discovered in Turkey when it comes to the craftsmanship and the flavors of patisserie and all kinds of dessert making?
Yeah, what's very interesting and inspires me always is the natural sweetener we have here. I mean, a lot of things or you have it always in the breakfast, like some very good honey, then the crepe molasse, which is, I think, I don't see it really used in desserts or pastry. You have this sweeteners, but you don't use it in pastry. For me, it's like always very inspiring to really use it for the sweet dishes. And then there's also one of my favorites desserts when I go to Turkey. I always need to have a tavuk göksu. Probably
what? Sorry?
I'm not going to pronounce it right. Tavuk göksu.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
the chicken dessert. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's something for me. It's kind of a mark that's. I mean, just for probably everybody knows it, but tavuk göksu is a dessert made with chicken breast, which is not something new. It's from the time of the Ottomans.
Yeah.
And this is that shows that things like this, having the meat in a dessert, is not something fancy or something new, something modern. It's something very, very traditional. Yeah. And I mean, we know, of course, I love French pastry and I respect French pastry, but it's also something that shows us there is more than just the pastry and the dessert, what we know today. Mm. So everybody who has the chance and is not from Istanbul, you need to try tavuk göksu while you're here.
Yes.
Have you tried it?
No, I haven't. I'm very curious about this. I have no idea.
You tried it?
I didn't.
Yeah,
It's on my to-do list. But yeah.
I tried. Yeah.
So and the interesting thing is that it's not something savory which is sweet. It's really a sweet dessert with some umami inside. And I think we should also talk in general more in Turkey about this concept of a dessert.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah.
Have you discovered something interesting?
I mean, when you go in the market, all the spices, spices are very powerful. I saw here nuts, honey, and I love kunafe. So, yeah, something I really enjoy.
Yeah, on my side will be the nuts, probably. The taste of just the pistachio or stuff like that. So we went 2 days ago to a neo-local, and the dessert was a pistachio dessert, and just the taste of it was incredible.
Yes. Yes, in patisserie, when we talk about it as a profession, it's always everything is very minute, everything is very on the millimeter, on the milligram, everything is in temperature, very precise, it's almost a little bit scary, because if you just change one parameter just a little bit, the whole thing might tip over and doesn't work. This is the perception from the outside of the world of patisserie, that there is so much technique. But what about the development in the last 10 years for the interest of amazing ingredients, unique, special ingredients? Or is ingredient quality not so interesting? It's only about technique? What is your opinion of how patisserie can be improved with amazing ingredients?
I mean, from the start, when you start as a pastry chef first, because you are talking about the skill and the precision, you need to learn you need to have the skills, so to understand the chimic of the pastry. After, when you have certain age and with the experience, you are able to not even respect the recipe and go a bit like in the kitchen and find other way. And even sometimes mistake makes something new texture. About the fact that pastry, we see the evolution on pastry, where we source the product as well. Now you have access to all around the world, new product, like recently, you have even, yuzu for a long time, but more and more people use this citrus or other product that now you can niche the really product. And as well, we are open world. We travel a lot, get inspiration where we are going. For example, even last time I've been to Costa Rica, I tried amazing mango. I'm trying to get them, and do after a dessert with this mango that I tried. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very true what you say about when you travel and when you start to see other culture, other product, other country, everything. This open your mind a lot because it's the same. Like I've been to Thailand, to a bit of the Asia part, America, and I guess when you come back, you are a bit more. You have a bit more idea of things to do to create new dessert or new cakes or new combination or new stuff. For example, the chicken dessert. This is something very interesting to try. So I think it's very good to travel and to open your mind.
Which countries or regions or cities or places in the world would you really like to visit for inspiration for patisserie and dessert making? Which ones would be on your list? Of
Me, I would say Japan for sure.
Japan.
Yeah, I've never been. This is one of my goal. I would like to, because there is a lot of product combination. It's very natural product. Like it's no many recipe. It's just about the product, like good fish, good fruits for the dessert or things like that, which is something very interesting.
I travel a lot already. Japan was one of the where I saw a lot of different things. It's everywhere where you travel. America, Middle East, Europe as well. There's a lot of things in Europe that's completely different than France. And you get inspiration trying something new. And every time when I'm going somewhere, I'm going to the market to see, to try, to speak to people and to discover. Because sometimes you can see things and you don't know what is it. So you ask, okay, can I try? And always people give, with art and explain what they are doing. And you try it and you get the inspiration. So,
René?
For me, it's I always like to travel somewhere and to get inspired. If it's about dessert and pastry, to go somewhere where desserts are not that influenced from because everywhere we know French pastry and dessert. Same in Germany. It's also why in Germany we say dessert because it's a French name. And I think there are just a very few countries where you can find just a very own identity of sweets. This is definitely in Turkey. There are a lot of desserts. For example, a dessert with pumpkin and sesame. Yeah, super interesting. It's kind of pretty sweet, but it's an amazing concept. But also, Italy is interesting because there, for example, you have a dessert which is melanzane al cioccolato. So eggplant with chocolate. Very interesting. We know from Italy more like panna cotta. Or there is in the Philippines also very interesting champorado, which is a rice porridge with chocolate, sweet, but then you eat it with dry fish.
Yes.
So things like this are when I want to get an inspiration or just to see something which is like very, very different, I look around, okay, in which countries maybe the sweet dish is not called dessert. Because in Germany also we call it dessert. And so this is like inspired by French, but actually in Italy it's called dolce. So it's not that inspired by French. And it's like interesting also in Arabic countries, it's not called dessert. It's called sweet.
Yeah.
And that's then a different, you really see if you look at this, it's a different kind of concept because the word dessert comes from deserve, like desservir. So it's dessert is originally a dish what you serve at the end of the menu when you clean the whole table with the savory courses, and then you bring something completely different. And this is then the influence from the pastry, really from the pastry world, also from the pastry boutique. And this developed in the last years, not only in the last 10 years, but developed through the influence of the kitchen into a very different dish. And this is like the dessert what we have today in most of the restaurants. Yeah.
Funny, nobody ever says, "Oh, I'd like to go to Scandinavia for desserts."
No, because now
Because you can get scallop ice cream in Scandinavia, like we heard from Nicolas from Thibault.
Yeah, but this is something very modern. I always look at
It's very modern.
Yeah, because nowadays everywhere in the whole world, of course, it's easy to make a dessert of everything. But if you look about traditions, about things they have been done, just like the chicken dessert in Turkey, this is not something from the last 10 years. It's from the time of the Ottomans.
Exactly.
So, and that's interesting because it's always because nowadays, if you ask yourself, why should we have, let's say, olive in a dessert, or why should we have meat in a dessert? I don't say that we need to have meat in a dessert, but it's interesting because it has been for years already. It just disappeared, but it's nothing new. So also unconventional desserts is nothing new. Also desserts which are not sweet is not new because in China you don't eat sweet desserts at the end of a menu.
Yes. And a long time ago, you used to start the meal with
Something
sweets.
sweet, yes, yeah. Which is even done like today if you have a Chinese menu.
Yeah.
You start it sweet with like caramelized nuts, and you dip your duck skin in even in white sugar.
Yeah.
And at the end of the menu, it's not sweet.
And Heston Blumenthal revived the meat fruit from the 1564 or something, 500 years ago, and made his interpretation with a sweet chicken liver pate surrounded by a fake mandarin skin, not fake, but an artificial mandarin skin, which is a very fascinating dish, but not something that has caught on in the mainstream of modern life. But 500 years ago, this was the norm.
And I mean,
sweet
there's always has been savoriness in desserts, and like when you make afternoon tea, for sure you have also some savoriness, some savory components. Yeah. So this has been always like part of pastry.
Something that has really impacted patisserie and all kinds of food, of course, but I think especially patisserie in the last 10 years, is social media. We see all the time, or maybe it's just my algorithm, but I see constantly people showing off amazing pastry and desserts that they have in restaurants. There is no denying, nobody is denying this. How do you see the future of this developing or evolving, and how has it impacted your business, to be honest?
I mean, this help a lot. First, we are showing what we do to everyone, because if you are not living, especially in London or Doha or other place, it's important, I think, to show, is to give something as well. I'm showing a lot of technique in my video as well. So it gives inspiration to everyone. So people who are starting the work or cannot go in masterclass, pay quite a lot. You show some techniques, and sometimes I receive texts even on the Instagram, and people say, "Oh, look, chef, I try your last dessert, and can you explain me, okay, which mold you use?" And so it's very nice. And as well, it's for other people that just look something beautiful and want to come to buy it. So yeah, it's really helping on everything. Yeah, and as well, you see other things around the world, so you get inspiration as well on it.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. This the Instagram mostly now is like kind of a vitrine for all the chefs all around the world, and that's true. That is just to show what we do, what we make every day, to share a bit our experience, our job, event, stuff like that. So to make people come to us as well. But on those are ways good as well to again open your mind and to see what other chef and pastry chef or even chef are creating, doing, or on the other country or whatever.
But it is for me, is especially pastry and dessert is emotion, and this is something you can transport through social media, because a savory, like a sweet dish or a pastry or a cake is always something you connect to your childhood. It always brings you back, because as a kid, or also nowadays, we eat something sweet always when we in a special moment, a moment we share with somebody. As a kid, when we did something very good, we got a chocolate, and because we were very nice, or we cleaned up our room or something.
Yeah.
And this is for me the most emotional part of a menu and of food and desserts. And also nowadays we can transport with sweets and desserts these emotions through Instagram, because somebody sees it, a post, and that somebody is happy and enjoying a piece of cake or a chocolate, and says, okay, I also want to have this feeling. And I think it's a very good marketing tool, not just because something looks nice. I think really this transports emotions, and that's the good thing about social media.
Yes, do you think social media has changed patisserie? Has it made patisserie chefs become more Insta-friendly, Instagrammable? Have you been looking at Cédric Grolet? We've seen the rise of Cédric Grolet all across the world, of course, and which is based on visual identity, strong visual identity. Don't you think a lot of pastry chefs have been inspired by this?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. And I used to work for Cédric Grolet, so 10, 12 years ago.
Oh,
And
right.
it was at the very beginning for him, for the social
At
media.
Picasse in
Yes,
Le Maurice.
at Le Maurice. So at the very beginning, when I first started, he had no Instagram. He didn't know about it. And his one intern showed him how to create a Instagram account, and he started from there. And then he went a bit crazy about this one. We went a bit crazy about this one because it was like so fun to do video, pictures. It was the very beginning, so we were just trying new stuff, new cakes. It was very nice as well for him to show what he used to do and what
But
he's
in
still doing
that
now.
process, in that period, how important was taste?
Yes, this is something else. Yeah, because for me it's very important. Is the first things for him as well. I'm not talking about him, but it's true that now the look for some of people are the most important. They are very happy to do nice pictures and to see the details, but then when you try it, you are a bit disappointed.
It's
Like
nothing special,
the texture or the
Too hard, too sweet, too gelatinous.
is not at the level of the look, and this is a bit shame and a bit disappointing, I guess.
So that process was more about the visual aspect than
Yeah, because
researching
as we
new
say, like
flavors.
the look make people to come, but the taste make people to come again
back.
and to
Yeah.
come again. So it's good to bring people, but we need to keep them. So
Yeah,
I
but if
guess
they're Paris, they're tourists, they're once in a lifetime, they stand in the shop, they're never going to
after
come
it's a
back.
different
So who cares
mentality.
what it
Yeah.
tastes like?
But it's interesting to see the difference. For pastry, you need a lot of color. Pastry, if pastry wouldn't use food color, it wouldn't work, to be honest. And I think for me sometimes it's a little bit strange, because if you have a very nice steak or a piece of meat, you don't put it in silicone and you don't color it, but it works. Because people have in this moment the feeling of the taste of a vegetable or of a roasted meat in their mouth, and they want to eat it because of that. Pastry, it mostly works. You don't have the sweet taste or the fruity taste in your mouth, and you say, okay, I want this. You have the colors and the shapes in your eye, and you say, okay, I want to have this. This looks so pretty. Yeah. So it's a complete different perspective. What triggers you to buy this or to eat it?
Yes. Yes, of course, and it's two opposite sides of the spectrum, of the same spectrum. The hyper-artificial world or the hyper-natural world. And then you find yourself on all kinds of parts of that scale. But patisserie has always been about imagination and illusion and creation, no? It's not only about closing your eyes and eating, you're also eating with all your senses.
Yeah.
And I think patisserie has always been important for this. How do you see the future, the next coming years? Think back 10 years, the advancement of creativity that has happened. People are trying to do more interesting things, being inspired by things that you're explaining. We see the development of now brands, your brands, you are starting shops in your own name. 10 years ago, maybe it was only Pierre Ramé who was the real famous one from the French world, maybe Oriol Balaguer from Spain, and a few others from Italy, but now it's growing and growing and growing. How do you see the developments for branded patisserie in the next 10 years? René has something to say about
No,
that.
definitely. I just want, no, definitely. I think it's very important for patisserie. It's very important to have brands, and the more expensive a cake is, the better it will be. And to have a brand like yours, when you have different shops, is you buy something, but it's not about you buy really because you want to eat now something sweet. It's you buy your brand and your philosophy, and they buy you. Same like also you buy a handbag from MS. So brands are in this case very, very, very important. In the savory world, it's not that much about brands. It's really about products. And this is also then more difference, even the dessert. Also in my case, we don't sell something outside or to go. We just have a fixed menu of like 14 courses. So there it's really about what's happening in the restaurant and what's the philosophy of the restaurant. It's not, I mean, it's also, yeah, okay, 2 Michelins are also, it's also kind of a brand or the name of the restaurant. But there it's really about transparency and the products what we use. But we also can communicate this in the restaurant. If you have something to go, let's say something buys a box of chocolate, travels on another continent and gives it as a present to the grandmother, you cannot transport the whole story of something. So then it really needs to speak on its own. So it's, I think, really two complete different worlds in this case. Yeah. The future development of restaurant dessert and of pastry boutique.
Yes. Okay. Any questions from the audience? I would like to invite anyone to ask questions. You have to shout. I'm not going to waste time with microphones here. No? You're all super curious about what they have to say? Now, René has to go to the airport in about 2.7 minutes. So I would like to say a huge warm thank you to the whole panel and to you for listening to this very exciting subject with these wonderful patisserie chefs. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
eat more cake.
Take care.